Good morning. My name is Diana Berrue Garcia. I'm the Deputy General Manager of Chateau Petit Village, and I'm happy to welcome you this morning for this visit in partnership with Wine Paths. Today we have the chance to have Augustin Bellois, that is the owner of the estate, and he would like to welcome you also to this visit.
Hello Diana, how are you today?
How are you? Very well.
Very well, thank you. This wonderful day. So I'm very glad to welcome you at Chateau Petit Village that we bought in 2020 with my family-in-law, Moulin family. We are as well owner of Chateau Beauregard, just on the other side of the road, since 2014. So we love this new challenge for this property with Diana, and I hope you will enjoy the visit with the Petit Village team. So happy to welcome you here and hope to see you there next time. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Augustin.
Thank you.
So let's continue the visit. We are going to start the visit with Paris Beef. She is our communications and tourism manager, and we are happy to share with you together the visit of the chateau. Hi Paris,
Hello.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Welcome to Chateau Petit Village. As you know, here we are in the Pomerol appellation, which is one of the smallest appellations in Bordeaux. Pomerol only has about 800 hectares total, which on average each chateau has about 5 to 6 hectares. So it's very, very small.
Let's continue the visit.
Here at Petit Village, originally we first saw the chateau on a map in 1785. And at that time, it was the center of a small village. So this is where it got its name and still has the name to this day. At that time as well, in Pomerol, we actually had a lot of fruit trees planted instead of vines and a lot of apple trees. And this is where we get the name Pomerol in a roundabout way. It's the place to find apples because apple in French is pomme. So this is a really interesting history of where the chateau started and how it came to be. It wasn't until the 18th century that we started making wine here in Pomerol at Petit Village. So would you like to talk a little bit more about the vineyard?
So our vineyard is 10.5 hectares, so it's slightly bigger than the average here in Pomerol. We have the chance to be at a very privileged place here that is 10.5 hectares are situated in the highest point of the prestigious Pomerol plateau. Our vineyard is shaped like a triangle, so in your left, you have the point of the triangle that is in the roundabout of teau, and it passes here. Just in front we have the Pomerol church, and if we continue on the right, we have the base of the triangle. That near the oak tree is where we have the highest point of the estate, that is 39 meters. In this part of the vineyard, in the east, is where we have the most part of clay, because our soil is composed of gravel on the top and the famous Pomerol clay underneath. In this part of the vineyard is where we have the oldest plot of Merlot, Cabernet Franc, and Cabernet Sauvignon, and it's where we make mainly our wine, Chateau Petit Village. And in this part of the vineyard is where we have the most deepest gravel, and where also we have the youngest plots now. Our vineyard is planted with 75% Merlot, 18% Cabernet Franc, and 8% Cabernet Sauvignon.
Great.
So we are going to continue the visit. I let you in very good hands with Paris for the visit of the cellar, and I'm going to prepare a very special tasting in the barrel cellar. So I wait for you there.
Great, we'll see you there.
See you in a minute.
So here in the vineyard, when we're harvesting in September, we harvest everything by hand, and we don't use any tractors or machines to harvest the berries. All of the berries are then brought here, where we welcome the harvest each year. Here in the vineyard, we harvest, like I said, everything by hand. And so we do our first selection in the vineyard. We harvest and pick all of the berries into these small bins here, where the bins are brought into this reception. The bins are then put into this small elevator with all of the berries inside. And this elevator takes all of the berries upstairs, actually. And so by taking them upstairs, this allows us to sort the berries upstairs and continue the vinification with gravity-based system. So we'll go upstairs and take a look at some of those machines. So when the bins arrive upstairs, they continue through a different series of machines where all of the berries are then taken off of the grape itself, and then we can make more precise selection for both the first wine and the second wine. Here you can see the bin arrives to the top of the elevator. It comes along the top and through our destemming machine, then to our last sorting table here. So on this table, we have all of the individual berries, and we can take each berry off that we don't want in the vinification or in the wine process. So maybe there's a berry of poor quality, and it really allows us to do a good quality control. Also from here, we have a beautiful view. We have a great view of the triangle, like Deanna was explaining earlier. So from here, we can see the point of the triangle, which continues past some of our neighbors. So we have Chateau Le Pin just behind us. Then we have Chateau Trotanoy. We have the Church of Pomerol. Then we have Chateau Le Fleur-Petrus. We have Vieux Chateau Certain, just behind the corner of the triangle. And then to the left of our oak tree, we have Petrus, which is obviously a very, very important chateau in Pomerol. And this brings us to the base of our triangle, where we also have Chateau Le Conseillant and Chateau Le Vangile. So from here, you have a very nice view of our triangle and the different ages of all of our parcels. So we'll continue our visit downstairs to the vinification process. When we vinify here at Petit Village, again, we keep each parcel separate and we vinify really parcel by parcel. And so when we keep each parcel separate, we vinify in 100% concrete tanks. This allows us to really take advantage of each parcel, the characteristics that it has, and really bring out the best characteristics for each parcel, depending on both the variety, but also the age of the parcel as well. So you can see here we have the size of each tank that we have, and each tank is actually the exact size of each parcel that we have in the vineyard, again, which makes it a lot more practical to keep them separate. So the vinification happens here, the winemaking process, which takes about 10 to 15 days. During this time, we do what's called the pumping over, or the remontage, in order to extract the tannins and the color from the skin of the berries. During this time as well, depending on the vintage, we can also do what's called the punching down, or the pigeage, because here when we put the berries into the tanks, we put them in whole. And so by doing the punching down, this allows us to break the skins little by little and a lot more slowly to extract the juice and the colors this way. Then we go to the aging process, which is in our barrel cellar. Here at the moment, we have two vintages in the cellar, 2019 and 2020. At this time, we have still each parcel separate, which is a lot of work to keep each parcel separate, but it allows us to have a really nice tasting experience. So here we have each parcel in variety. As well, we age in about 30 to 40% new oak for 15 to 18 months, depending on the vintage. So now Deanna will have a really nice tasting experience for us because we get to taste each parcel. So what are we tasting today?
So we're going to taste 2019 vintage, and we are going to taste our oldest Merlot plot that was planted in 1948. This plot represents the backbone of our Chateau Petit Village. So we are going to taste the plot in terracotta amphora, so it was all over the aging was inside.
It's very interesting to be able to taste the exact same parcel, but as well in two different mediums of aging. So that being the amphore and the barrel as well.
So it's a very interesting comparative tasting, because here in Terracotta Amphora we are going to keep all the typicity of the plot, so the very pure aromas, fruity aromas.
It's very fruity and energetic.
Yeah, the freshness and the very nice acidity that gives a lot of energy to the wine.
And so what does the terracotta do for the tannins in the wine?
So the terracotta is going to preserve the structure, as I told you, the aromas, and also the structure, because here in this very old plot we have a lot of complexity and a very nice tannic structure. So the terracotta amphora is going to
Makes it a lot lighter and rounder and
and
less aggressive.
Yeah, really keep the authenticity of the plot.
Interesting.
So now we are going to taste the same plot that was aged in barrel. So here we aged the wines around 18 months. Okay. So now we are there is 14 months of
aging.
So here in the oak, so this is a French oak. This is a new oak. The cooper is Darmadieu. It's a local cooper, very close from here in Libourne. And it's a cooper that is going to work the oak with very soft toast to really help to keep the fruit and the freshness of the wine.
Yeah, you
this
can
is what
tell
we're
it's
looking
still
for.
Very fruity, a little bit of vanilla, but
yeah, you have
still
also
cherry.
of course oaky aromas like vanilla, a little bit spicy. But it's really fruity. We have a lot of black fruit aromas.
Yeah, it's very nice.
So in the malt, the wine is much more structured because there we have also the tannins of the wood, but it still really fresh and well balanced.
Yeah. So these two wines that we just tasted will be blended together for the final blend of the Chateau Petit Village, our first wine. And the rest of the Merlot that isn't used in this first wine selection is used for our second wine, which is called the Jardin, or the Garden of Petit Village. So we'll continue upstairs for our second tasting of our two wines in the 2016 vintage.
So now we are going to taste another vintage that will be the 2016 vintage. And we are going to continue in our tasting room that is situated in the old building. Here in Petit Village, we renovate all the facilities in 2007, but we really keep the ancient building. So now we are in the old house, and upstairs is where we have our tasting room. So here we have a very, very cozy,
Nice sitting room.
sitting room.
Again, a beautiful view of Pomerol, which is very, very nice to enjoy just before or after our tasting here.
So let's continue our tasting.
So I'll pour the first wine. Today, this is the Jardin de Petit Village 2016. Again, it's 100% Merlot.
So tasting this wine, I would like to show you the map of the state. As we talked before, this is the triangle with the chateau in the middle. In that part of the vineyard is where we have a very deep gravel soil. This is where we mainly elaborate our second wine, that is the Jardin de Petit Village. It's a wine where we have a lot of freshness. It's really, really fruity. Very red fruit aromas. It's a very, very nice example of a Pomerol because the tannins are completely round and soft. And in this part of the vineyard, that is the highest part, is where we have gravel with a clay underneath, this very rich clay that we have in Pomerol. And here is where we are going to elaborate our Chateau Petit Village. Here is where we have the oldest vineyard of Merlot and Cabernet Franc that were planted in the 40s and 50s. This is where we have the most complexity on the wine. So we are going to taste our first wine, Chateau Petit Village.
So this Chateau Petit Village, again, the same year, same vintage, 2016, is a blend now. So we're getting away from the 100% Merlot and getting to the traditional blend of Petit Village, which this year is 77% Merlot, 14% Cabernet Franc, and 9% Cabernet Sauvignon. And so again, earlier when we had the opportunity to taste from the barrel and the amphore, those old Merlot parcels will be added into this blend for the first one.
So Petit Village, Chateau Petit Village, we always have the blend between Merlot, Cabernet Franc and Cabernet Sauvignon. It's a very old vineyard. This is what makes that we have a big complexity on the nose. We have a lot of different aromas.
Yeah, it's a very nice balance, especially the weather we had in this vintage. We have a very nice balance of fruit and structure and tannins and freshness, definitely, that we typically really have from the Pomerol clay here.
Yeah, for me, 2016 is really one of the best wine we have ever made here in Petit Village, because it's a powerful wine, and at the same time we have a very nice freshness, good acidity. It's very long. Tannins are completely soft and round. It's a big pleasure to drink now, but for sure it's a very young wine that we can keep for ages, and in some years.
How long would you age this wine?
You can age it, I don't know, for ages, but I recommend it to drink it maybe 10 years after bottling. Is when we are going to have the most complex aromas of the aging in the bottle, and after you can keep it, I don't know, maybe 50 years at least.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for this special tasting, and we're very happy to take you on this visit at Chateau Petit Village.
Yeah, that was a pleasure to share with you this virtual visit. We really hope that the situation is going to get better, and that we are going to be able to welcome you here in the chateau. So I say see you very soon.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.